and you're welcome back to my channel. Today, I will be showing you how to conduct a bibliometric analysis, starting from the first step to generating your visualization map. Before you start a bibliometric analysis, you need to know the steps required. I created this table to summarize the step required for a bibliometric analysis. So for a complete bibliometric analysis, the step starts with data collection. After data collection, you export your data. So it is during this export stage you decide either to export it to your visualization tool. In this video, I will be using VOSviewer for my visualization tool, or you export it to Excel for cleaning, because during bibliometric analysis you need to do a lot of cleaning due to some repetition of names, irregularity of spellings, and so many things that need to be cleaned out from your data. Excel is a very good tool to do the cleaning process. So I will start with data collection. You can use Web of Science or Scopus as your data source, especially if you are in the science field. There are other data sources like the PubMed and other form of data source. But for this video, I will be using Web of Science to explain. Maybe in the next video, I will compare with Scopus. So let us just stick with the Web of Science. When you open your Web of Science, this is what the interface, the latest interface, looks like. Okay, so you have the option for documents and you have the options for researchers. If you are searching for researcher, you choose this option, but for bibliometric analysis, we stay with document. Then you have this database collection. For the sake of getting the most of your results, to get most of the result you need, you should choose all. Choose this all as the option, because this is like the data, the indices, the different indices that are under the Web of Science. So I just leave it as all. By default, this is all. Now, this is where you put in the keywords of what you want to study. Under this aspect, most time people use topic or title to get their keywords. So if you use topic, you can see what that means. It will search the keywords from the title, the abstract, and the keywords from authors. Okay? If you use title, then it will only search your keywords from the title of the journals. So most people choose topic to get larger volume of results. And the reason is this. For example, you are looking for a keyword, let's say pollution. The title may not contain pollution. The title may be synthesis of a material A for cleaning water. Then in the abstract, you can have the word pollution. Of course, you want to clean a polluted water, but the word pollution was not mentioned in the title, but it's most likely to be mentioned in the abstract or even in the keywords section. So that is why most time people go with topic. But there is a limitation with this. Sometimes a word can appear in the abstract and it does not necessarily mean the journal or the paper is talking about that word. It could just mean part of the statement, part of many statements in the abstract. Okay, so when people want exact topic, the exact discussion, the exact area of discussion, they go with the title. So the limitation for this is that you get fewer number of publications compared to topic. I will give you an example. So let me choose topic first and see. So today we will be using the keyword oil spillage, oil spillage, and aquatic. So I want to see papers that talk about oil spillage and also mention aquatic. The next thing is you need to find out the document type. If you check, you need to find out the document type. So you need to select the type of document you want. Document type. You scroll down and see document type. For the sake of bibliometric analysis, you can use article, you can use proceedings, depending on what you want to do. You could even use review, or even you can use everything you want from the options. So I will just stay with these three options. So you have selected the document type. The next thing is to select the publication year. So you need to select the year published. For this article, for this tutorial, let me use 2024 to 2025. You can use 1990 to 2025. You can use any year range, but for the sake of this tutorial, I will just use 2024 to 2025. Then you can search. But there's something I need to show. I need to remind you something. The reason why I put this quotation mark here, this quote here, the reason I use this quote is to make sure that the result comes out as oil spillage. If you don't use the quote, then these two words will be splitted. Oil will be treated as one entity, spillage will be treated as another entity. So whenever you have a compound word, you quote it so that it comes exactly that way in your results. Then this and here means that every result you get must contain oil spillage and also contain aquatic. All right. So there are two common words. There are two common conjunction words we use in bibliometric analysis when you are searching for articles. You either use and or you use or. The difference between and or is that or means that is optional. The result you are asking the Web of Science to search for this or to search for this. So it means that either of this or this will appear in your search. So it's not compulsory for both words to appear. That is the meaning of this or. But if you want both to appear, you need to use and, okay, to join the two words. Or if it's more than two keywords, you use and to join them together. All right. All right. There's another thing. If you don't want a particular keyword to appear in your search, you can add a row there. Instead of this and this topic is being joined by this document type with and is being joined by year published with and. Now, if you don't want a particular keywords to appear, you go with whatever you do with the first row there. In this case, topic, you choose the same thing here. Instead of and, you will need to change this to not. So, for example, I don't want land to appear in the search. So, I need oil spillage and aquatic in the topic. but it should not contain land. I mean, you are actually asking Web of Science to exempt this word from your search. After you have done all this, you click on the search button, and we got just 4 results there because there was not enough year range. So let me go back and increase the year. So let me use 2020 to 2025. Search. So we got 18 results there. That is still not enough. We can still change that. Now let me increase the range 2000 to 2025. Search. 29. That is still not enough. Okay. So let me use 1990 or even 1900 from the beginning of time according to Web of Science. So let's see what will come out there. So still 29. All right. Just for the sake of tutorial. Now you've gotten your results, 29 results. Okay. These are the documents, the publications. All right. Based on the keywords you entered. So the next thing you will do now, once you've gotten your results, you will now go to the next stage. The next stage is export. So the next stage is to what? To export your results. So you click on export. Now, exporting, you can export in 2 ways. Either you are exporting in Excel format or you are exporting in tab delimited file. If you are using VOSviewer, then you need this file format for your VOSviewer to generate the bibliometric map or the visualization map. So I will choose tab delimited file. Then you choose a record. If the result is a very large volume of results, then you can only export 1000 at a time. Okay, but in this case it's just 29, so we can export everything. Now under this option I can choose full record, then you click on export. After exporting, you open VOSviewer and create. Follow these steps, then you will not miss it. Create a map based on bibliographic data. Click on next. Select this option here. Click on next again. Web of Science is our data source. If you are using Scopus, then you select Scopus. If you are using Dimensions, you select any of these data source. Okay. So in this case, I'm using Web of Science. Then you browse to locate your file. So this is my file, the one I just exported. You click OK and you click on next. Then you select the kind of analysis you want. Let us say you want the co-authorship of countries or organization. Then you also select the type of counting method you want here. If I want fractional counting, then you click on next. So we have just 64 organizations, all right, that participated in the article on aquatic and oil spillage. Now, to generate everything, you put in 1 there. You put in 1 there, so it shows that the organization must have published at least 1 paper. So if you do that, instead of these 3, all the 64 will come out. Now that you have all the 64, you click on next. So you can actually export this for data cleanup. You right click, then you export data. I will use CSV format. So this will be co-authorship of organizations, then export. All right. Then you can finish this to create your bibliographic visualization map. So this is what it looks like. It's cut out the unconnected entities. If you want to show all the entities, then you need to do this again. So in this case, if you want to show all the entities, whether connected or non-connected, you click on no. All right, so it will bring out all the organizations. So this is what the bibliographic, the visualization map look like based on the keywords we search for. Now you can do a lot of stuff here. You can increase the font size. You can increase the node. You can also change the link strength. Then this, you can make the curve straight. In this case, there is no link at all. Then the cluster colors, you can make it black background. You can do anything you want. Then under items, you can check the clusters. And then under analysis, you can do rotation, flip. And then you can also update, you can also save this. So if you want to save, you go to screenshot, open that, and these are the options. You can copy to clipboard or you can just save it. All right. So this is what you do to create your visualization map. But remember, we just exported this data. Now you go back to the export for data cleanup. So open this. Then the next thing you do is to copy, highlight everything, then copy and open an Excel file. Then paste. All right, so these are the organizations. So this is where you can clean up your data. So in cleaning, you look for the organizations that are repeated or that were abbreviated and treated separately. You can check the previous video to merge all the repeated or misspelled or abbreviated terms that are referring to the same thing. You can look for my previous video on creating a Thesaurus file. So you need the Thesaurus file to harmonize all the repeated, incorrectly spelled, or abbreviated words. So you need the Thesaurus file. You need to create a Thesaurus file to merge them together as one entity. All right. So after you have done that, then you are good to go. Okay. So this stage is where you do your data cleaning. It looks simple right now, right? So let us use a very large volume. I will change this to, I will change this keyword now. I will just use oil spillage. So let's just use oil spillage and see how much result we can get from this oil spillage. So in this case, it could be in land. Okay, in this case, let me cancel this. So it could be in land, it could be anywhere. So remove this row. So oil spillage in land in anywhere oil spillage is mentioned in topic. So let's see. This will give us a very large result. So this is 448. That is still not large enough. Okay, I will change the keyword now. What is the common keywords? Climate change. So climate change is a common keyword, very common. So this should give us a very large number of publication. Wow. Wow. This is a lot. So we cannot exhaust this. Wow. Wow. This is a lot. We cannot exhaust this. That is just too much. Okay. We can reduce that by the year published. I will just reduce this. I will increase this to 2020. So let's see how many paper talks about climate change between 2020 and 2025. That is still a lot. Okay, I will add something to it to reduce the quantity. Climate change mitigation. So let us see how much we have there. All right, this is much better. 8,000 articles on climate change mitigation. But if you use title, the number will definitely drop down. If I use title, search, so you can see just 1,000. So what this means that exactly 1,500 articles mention the exact terminology climate change mitigation in the title. Meanwhile, if I use topic, this means that 8,277 published articles mention climate change mitigation either in the topic, either in the title, in the abstract, or in the author's keywords. So that is the difference. So that is why most people use topic for their search, because they get more results than using title. To export this is not straightforward like the first one because of this large volume of results. So to export this, when you have this large volume of results, you will need to export them in batches. Click on export. For VOSviewer, tap the limited file. So you can only export 1,000 maximum. 1,000. So you need to export the first 1,000, 1 to 1,000. This is 1,000. Okay. So 1 to 1,000. Option. You decide what option you want there. Full record and all that. So if I choose full record, export, you need to export again. You have to keep doing it. This is a very tedious process. Then you have to do it again. Then now you are exporting between 1,000 and 2,000. So you're exporting 2,000 now. Another 1,000, which is from 1,000 to 2,000. So you have to be very careful with this. You need to add 1 to that place. So from 1,001 to 2,000. That will give you the next 2,000 papers. Then from 2,000, you export again. Tab the limited. Now 2,001 to 3,000. So you keep doing this until you get to 8,277. Now the last will be 8,001 to the 8,277. Okay, so it should just be 277 remaining there, and then you export. All right, now we have all the files exported. So you go to VOSviewer, create, next. You open this and select all the files. So you select all the exported file and OK. Next. So it extracts that. Then you decide the analysis you want to do. So let's assume I'm still on this organization, or let's say I'm doing countries. Then you click on next. So we have 170 countries. Okay. To have all of the countries, you need to change this to 1. So that will show all the countries that meet the threshold. Then you click on next. Then you click on next again, and then you can export this. Right click, export. I can name it as countries. CSV. You will need to do this for cleaning to create a Thesaurus file. So you export that. Okay, so let us create the visualization map for this. Finish. If you don't want all the unconnected countries to appear, then click on yes. So it will only show the connected ones. This is too big, overshadowing other countries. So you come here and reduce the node size. Reduce the size. Now you can expand. Look at the zoom there at the top right corner. You can zoom to see what is going on. So all these lines you are seeing here, it's showing the connection between the countries. And the connection shows the countries that have collaborated in publishing papers together. So, and you can see the link strength at the bottom here, the total link strength. So at the bottom, when you click on each of the line, it will give you the information at the bottom left. So it will show you the information there at the bottom left corner there. Bolivia and USA, the link strength is 1. So it means they have published at least one paper, at least a paper. So the link strength shows the partnership strength between the items, in this case between the countries. If I want to increase the link strength to see which one have stronger link strength, you will come to this place and increase the minimum strength number. And this, by default, it will be 0. I just changed this to 1 in the previous one. Now I want to increase this. Once you start increasing it, all those ones with weak partnership strength will start disappearing. You can see. So at 20, so who is the last man standing? So at 20, we can see that China is still very, very active in this publication for climate change mitigation. So you have China, England. England is, yeah, this is another thing that we explain, or I don't really need to explain. In the previous video I made on creating Thesaurus file, I showed how you merge England, Wales. You can see Wales there. England, Wales, Scotland, North Ireland, merge them as United Kingdom. So because the way they are now, they are scattered, and that will reduce the contribution strength of UK. All right. So you need to merge all of them together to form one single UK. And how to do that, you need to create a Thesaurus file. Please look out for my previous video on how to do that. Now, so this link strength here shows the connection between the countries or items, depending on what you are analyzing. You can see the information there. The link strength between China and Pakistan, 47.26. Now, between USA and China is 148.4. That is the strongest link strength. So USA and China have the strongest partnership strength among the countries. All right. Then between England and USA is the next, which is between UK and USA. All right. So this is how to interpret these maps. All right. Um, you can also see that they are grouped into clusters. How to know the number of clusters? You can just come to items and see how many clusters are there. So we have cluster 1. All these countries are under cluster 1. Then we have cluster 2. All these countries are under cluster 2. Then we have cluster 3, 22 countries. Cluster 4, 16 countries. Cluster 5, cluster 6, up to 14 clusters. Then, if you are not too sure of what this cluster stands for, you can come to cluster here, open it, and click on Edit Colors. It will show you the cluster's colors. So you look at all the colors there. So cluster 1 is red, cluster 2 is green, cluster 3 is blue, cluster 4 is yellow, and so on. So when you see all these colors, you easily know what clusters they belong to. What I normally do is to what I normally do here is to snip. I will screenshot this part, and then when I'm saving this in my document, I will just screenshot this and paste it there so that the reader can understand what you are doing. So I want to snapshot that. Okay, so I already snapshot so that was have like a legend for this figure. Let me reduce this back to 1 as the minimum strength. Okay, then I will go and paste it. So I'll paste it there, then come back here, go to Files, Screenshot, Copy to Board. Then you can paste that also. Then right click and bring forward or bring front. So you can just have this. So it makes your figure, makes it clearer to the reader. So when they are reading it, they understand which of the clusters you are discussing about. Because in bibliometric analysis, you discuss each of the clusters, the connections, the impact of these connections, and all that. All right. So if you just mention cluster 1, the reader don't need to be confused. From this legend, they know that this is cluster 1. So in your article, if you mention cluster 2, all they need to look for is the green colors there. So if they mention cluster 4, so they look for the yellow color there. If you mention cluster 6, they look for the purple colors, and so on. So this is how to make your interpretation very, very easy for the reader. All right. So this is just the basics for bibliometric analysis using VOSviewer. Okay, and the parts where you need to create your Thesaurus file. Remember, I explained that in my previous video, but I will just I'll just hint a little on it again. So you need to create a Thesaurus file. Open the exported file you did in the VOSviewer. So you copy that and then you open your Excel file and paste it there. This ID, we don't need ID. Okay, so this is countries. You can actually sort this. I like sorting it. So you sort, custom sort. I want to sort it according to the number of publication, document in this case. I want to sort it from highest to lowest, largest to smallest. So it's give me the top ranking countries. Now it has arranged itself. So this will give you a clear picture of what is going on. So for this particular topic that you search for, USA top the chart as the top publication countries, followed by China, followed by Germany, followed by England, followed by uh, Australia, and all that. Okay, so if you want to create a Thesaurus file like this England here, this England should be UK. All right, so I will take out England. Then I will make this United Kingdom. Now, we need to search for other entities that make up UK. The next is we need to search for Wales. So that is Wales. So you remove Wales. And put it there. The next is Scotland. I'm just giving you an example. So with this method, you can actually clean up your data. Okay, either you are merging the abbreviated names, incorrect names. Okay, you can merge them together. So I will just use this to explain how to do it, although it has been explained before. So Scotland, that is Scotland there. So the next will be North Ireland. Okay, so you can just remove all these blank spaces. Although there is a formula to do that, but I don't want to waste your time. Okay, so we've removed all the blank spaces there. Now, to get the exact value for UK, you need to add up. So you sum them together. And you do the same thing for others. Then you copy and paste as number. So this is the true picture of United Kingdom as a whole. Remember what I said, when the entity splits, it reduces the contribution strength of that particular entity. Before, UK was not in the first three, but now after merging everything together, UK is now the number third after China. All right, so let us rearrange this. Go back to sort, custom sort, document largest to smallest, sort. So UK is now in number three. Okay, so your Thesaurus file, copy these countries and paste it here. So what you will do is this: you, instead of writing country, the first cell there, you type replace. Then the second column, then you type by. China, these people are China, it will be replaced by just China. So if there's any mistake in the spelling, you will type replace by, then you put in what you want to replace it by in this column. And then once you are done with this, you copy this and then you create a test file. Copy and paste it there. Then we can start changing. Replace by anyone that you don't like. So this one should just be China. I don't want these people China to show. Remember, in the map we created, you can see this people China showing there. Okay. Another thing is you need to merge this Turkey here and Turkey. You need to merge them together to create the real strength of Turkey. So you have Turkey here and Turkey. You can see Turkey there. Turkey, Turkey here. They are both same countries. So you need to merge them. Then you go back. Turkey here. So you go and look for Turkey here. So you need to replace this Turkey here by Turkey. Okay, so it will just show Turkey, no more Turkey here, and so on. And then if you come back here, you can merge Turkey and Turkey just the same way we did for UK. All right, so once you are done here, you copy this, highlight and copy, and then you open a notepad and paste it there. Okay, you paste it there. Remember, the first cell will be written replaced, the second cell by. If you don't put this command, nothing will happen. Okay, so you save your notepad. You have to save it. Save as. Then you locate where the file is. So you give it a name. You go back to VOSviewer. England is still showing there. Wales is still showing there. Turkey and Turkey are still showing. So you need to recreate that. So when you get to this stage here, this is where you will use the Thesaurus file. You browse and you locate the Thesaurus file. This is the file. Open it. So you have opened the Thesaurus file now. Then next. Oh, sorry, that was a mistake. It's actually label this will be label, and then this will be replaced by so this is what it should be. It should be label then replaced by. So you go back and correct that. So this will be label, and this will be replaced by. Okay, let's save that now. Go back and let's try that. Okay, so that works out. Now I just need the top 50 countries. So let me increase this to 50 publications. 55. Increase it more. As you're increasing this, the number that meets that requirement will be reducing. So let's see, 52 publications, 53, 55 publications, 56 publications. So the countries with a minimum of 56 publications, 50 countries meet that requirement. Then we click on finish. Now let us see what the refined map look like. Oh, England is still showing England because I didn't change this to UK. Oh no. You see what I'm talking about. But let us see Turkey. I think I changed the Turkey here to Turkey. So it should just be one Turkey now. You can see Turkey is just one now. There's no Turkey here again. So you need to go back and change the England to United Kingdom. So what you need to do now is to change England, replace England by United Kingdom, create new rows there, create another row, create another row. So you replace England with United Kingdom, replace Wales by United Kingdom also, replace Scotland by United Kingdom, then replace North Ireland by United Kingdom. All right, so this should be the correct one. Copy, then paste. All right, so let us save this now. Let us test if this works. Next. 56, minimum of 56 publication. So it has reduced now because automatically England, Wales, and all that have been merged as one entity, which is United Kingdom. So this has dropped to 48. So finish. You can see we now have United Kingdom. Remember, when you are creating your Thesaurus file, any mistake in spelling can affect your Thesaurus file. It will not show on the final results. All right. So I purposely left the mistake in the video so that you can see the likely mistakes you can make. I didn't want to edit it out, so you can also learn from it. All right. So if you make any mistake in creating the Thesaurus file, it will also affect the visualization map. Now we have a very nice visualization map with all the entities intact. If you notice any entity that has been split, just follow the same procedure. Create a tertiary map, merge them together, and you are good to go. I believe with this video, you have a general idea on how to conduct bibliometric analysis. This is just a kind of a short guide for a beginner, or if you are stuck somewhere, especially creating a Thesaurus file. This is big challenge for most people doing bibliometric analysis. And when you have entities being split into different forms and they don't really know how to merge them together, Thesaurus file will help you out in solving such a challenge. If you have learned one or two things in this video and you have not subscribed yet, please do me a favor, click the subscribe button. This subscription, the likes you give will encourage me to do more. So this is like the oxygen that powers me to create more content. All right, please support me to do more. Thank you and look forward to the next video.